Okay, since we didn't have a class this week and we won't have one next week because I'm going in for eye surgery for cataracts, I thought maybe I'd make a quick video just to show you guys a few of the things I'd like to touch on that we might have done in the class. Some of this you may have seen before, but anyway, let's just get started. We'll start a page. Let's make it an 8x12 so it's good looking for this video. I'll give it a little bit of color, maybe something down here just slightly into there, and let's set a texture on it. We'll get some barnwood sort of look here just for our background. Okay, so when this comes in there, you can see it looks sort of like old barnwood, you know, with a little bit of weathering and still having some just a little bit of brown background or tint. So anyway, given that, what are one of the things I wanted to show you? Well, one of the things is, let's add a few pictures to get started. And guess what? I'll probably add let's say these of guess who, of Sarah. And I'll bring them in, something like this. Okay, you've all seen how this can be done, that you can load multiple pictures at a time. So I selected the 3 of them, and it just loads them, it fits them up here to the top, sizes them to make them fit. So anyhow, if you have all these, now one of the things you might want to do is you may want to say, well, gee, let me make this thing a little bit fancier. I'm going to add a frame to it, and we'll put a frame about like so, and let's make it white. Okay, so frames come in gray, by the way, just so you can color them anything you want, because once you've picked a white frame or a black frame, you can't do much with it. But if it's a gray frame, it'll let you do colorizing of it and texturing. But for now, let's just go with a white frame. So let's also put a shadow on it. I'll go up here and maybe give it a fairly dense shadow, something like that. That way, it looks like it pops off of this barnwood background. Now, one of the things that I didn't show you, I don't think, is that if you have a style, that is a frame and a shadow that you like, you can select it and you can go up here and you can save it. Now, it says this style. The style of this object has been saved as your default. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that means that if I select this image here, I could just go up here and apply that style, and guess what? She's got the same style. And the same way here, if I go up here and I apply that style, she's got the same style. So all 3 of them now have the same style. So it's an easy way if you're going to put a number of pictures on the page and you sort of want to, and by the way, this is saved now. This will be saved if you do another project. So if you open up another page and start again and say, give me that old style back again, just apply it and it'll come. You can clear that style if you don't want it any longer just by hitting this clear button. Anyhow, that's a quick way to get all your images to have the same motif, same shadowing, same background, or same frame and everything. So that was one quick trick I wanted to show you. One other thing that I don't know that we ever touched on, and that is that you can combine pictures pretty easily. It's done by holding down the control key on your keypad. But if you hold it down and you start selecting these images individually like this, you'll see that a red dot or red outline surrounds each one of the images. All right. Given that, now that they're all selected, if you take the one that was the last selected and start moving them, you'll see that these things will all jump together like that. Okay, so you moved the whole group of them together. Now, one other thing you can do, and it's real simple to do, is I'll hold the control key down and I go and select these guys individually like that. And once they're selected, I can go over here into my layers panel, and down here, about 5 items down, is something called merge selected. All right, so the 3 items that have been selected are going to be merged together. Now, it gives me the option of deleting the base layers, that is the individual pictures. They can be deleted if I want to when this merger happens, or I can keep them. For now, let's keep them. And I'll show you what goes on with that when it's done here. It's right now doing the loading and the computing to make this thing happen as a merging of those 3. But now that it's done it, you can see that they merged and they moved together. And they're actually just like any other image now. You can size them like so, or you can size them big like so. You can rotate them as a group if you want by grabbing the handle here and rotate them that way. Always can go back up here and set it back to 0 if you want. But anyway, they move now as a unit. Now, they're in there, but so are, we saved their originals, so they're still floating around too. You don't have to do anything with them, and when it saves them, it turns them off, and it's your option to turn them back on again. That is, it hides them, but it's your option to turn them back on again. So that's kind of a neat little thing, in as much as it gives you a way to put together multiple images and move them as a group, or save them as a group. Later on, when we get into making clusters, you'll see how that can be real beneficial. But for now, I think I'd just like to show you that can be done. One other thing, if you look up here under these, let's shrink this down a bit and bring back in one of our images, say this one here. All right. Now, if you wanted to say do a masking on this, let's take the frame off just so we can do masking the way we would normally do it. If you wanted to do masking on this guy, what you would do normally is go up here and select it and go under layer, or under edit rather, and go down here to cut out mask. Now, just like with cropping, up here you'll see under crop there's a button that allows us to pick the random or the various types of crops that can be done. There's also one for masks, and if you click it, it just brings up that standard mask texture or text box rather, or dialog box, and in there you can select from the masks that come with Scrap Page and or with AcrtionScrap. And that one is the one we used before, and if you apply it, you'll see that when it's done computing here, that there she is, and she's got, she still has a shadow on her, so I think I'm going to take that shadow off too. But anyway, there you can see that she now has the look that was given to it in this area out here, all being transparent, and the only part she shows is where we set the mask. So again, as always, you can go back and you can recall the original if you want to, and there she is back in the original state. All right, so all in all, I think those are the elements that I think are pretty neat to use. I know we talked a little bit about these alignment arrows up here. They can be very convenient. Let me add another picture and I'll show you why. If we, I'll take this picture here. Now suppose it's a different aspect ratio. You can see that this one's a little wider than that one is in terms of its ratio of its width to its height. But you can, if you wish, if you wanted to make this one be exactly the same height as that one, you click this little double up arrow here, up down arrow, and now it becomes the same height as that one. Now, if you want them to match in the tops over here, alignment, align to the top, and it does that. All right, so she now has the same height as that, but even though her ratio is different, but she's aligned to the top and with the same height. Now, could we make her have the same ratio as this picture here? Yeah, if we select this picture and then we go over here and select her, under the crop there's something here called previous object aspect. All right, and that's the same aspect as the one we just clicked earlier, the one right before here. And if I pull this down on her, something about like this, and tell it to crop, now it has the same aspect ratio as that one. And if I tell it, hey, I want you to have the same height as that one and align to the top with that one, you'll see now that they're both of the same size and the same alignments. So those are some pretty neat little tricks you can do. Let's see, do we have any other things that might be worthwhile? Yeah, you can copy. Well, one thing that's kind of interesting, and sometimes it's a value. is you can copy the whole layout simply by saying copy all. And it's going to go through some computations here, and when it's all done, then you can paste it. And when it's loading the copied image now, and there it is. So we just copied the entire page and made it the way it is. Now that's sometimes can be an interesting thing. For instance, suppose you wanted to change the background. Let's hide a couple things here so we can do that. Let's hide all that stuff. Now we've got our page that we did our master copy of. Now if I change the background, for instance, I go in and say, hey, I want the background to be more of a I don't know, a goldish kind of, not there. Let me go in here and get a standard texture. More of a texture size style. I could go in here and give it maybe something like this. And when it's done, now that page can sit on top of a different style of a background entirely. Okay? So, not necessarily that that's a good one, but you could do that. And that's one of the reasons you might sometimes want to grab the whole image that way. So again, if we open up any of these, they're still around. I can bring them to the front if I want to, by telling it I want you to go all the way to the top, and there it is. It's still there, and the other ones around, the other ones similarly are still there. So we can bring them up if we so desire by sending them up to the top of the stack. And when they're up to the top, there they are. So that's I guess pretty much what I wanted to show you in terms of how you can manipulate this stuff around, and with some tricks and tips, I guess. So until the next time, this is Dave. I'm going to probably make more of these over the next couple of weeks, since we won't be having class, but you can review these things at your leisure, and we'll go from there. Okay? Bye-bye.